Alright, how are you doing, guys? In this video I'm going to be showing you an ultimate and like a really just a good tier list, okay? So without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off not strong with mid tier, we have Naruto, Akaza, Momo, whoever the hell that is, Zion I think his name is, and I forgot what her name is. I think it's like Buzzer or something. Orihime, Uryu, and Sasuke. The only reason I'm putting Naruto in here is because he's a bit outdated, but if you have Ethereal on him, or like maybe even Solar, you can put him up in S tier over here, maybe like low S tier. Okay. Yeah, there's not really much to say about everything in mid tier. They just don't have any practical uses or use case scenarios, so that's why I put them here. Next up we have S tier. This is going to consist of Choso being at the top, and the reason some of these units are here is because they have some use cases, but again they're just like pretty outdated, and the game's kind of being power crept right now, so there's just a bunch of units that are stronger that you'll see in this video. Rangoku, he used to be good, but now he's actually a bit outdated. He isn't that good anymore. The only reason I'd use him is if I was like, maybe if I was like mid game, like not too end game, not too early game. So that's the only scenario I'd use him in. But he does have pretty good burns, so that's that. Julius, he's actually pretty nice support. He's not meta support though. So I'm just putting him here. I actually use him from time to time just to, freeze, but I don't use him anymore because that was kind of my early to mid game use case. Next up we have Z tier. Okay, the reason I'm putting some of these units here is, okay, let's take a look at Igris. Igris, he used to be crazy, right? Back in update 1, 0.5. Now, he's like extremely outdated. Like, almost everybody here. These three, Igris, Vegeta, and Sungjin Woo, they are outdated now. Although, Vegeta, I feel like Vegeta would be like right on top of Igris, just because Vegeta has like, he's like universal, especially when you're a beginner or during mid game. He's like, you're always gonna use him. Igris, like, not many people even go for him anymore. The only reason you'd actually go for him was to get Sungjin Woo and Igris, the Vanguard unit. And Jinwoo, he's outdated, but his evolution, of course, it's a Vanguard. It's really OP. So, and also his damage isn't that good, of course, because he's outdated, but his ability Arise is probably the only reason he's up here in Z tier. Okay, next up we have the Z plus tier, and these, hold on, I'm actually about to move this over here. Okay, next up we have Z plus tier. So basically we have Gojo at the highest of Z plus, then we have Sukuna right behind him. And the reason I have Gojo here, Gojo was like the best unit a couple updates ago during the JJK update. I believe it was update 1. Gojo was like the best unit, like for a long time. But of course there's like a bunch of more broken units, which is why I'm putting in Z plus tier. He isn't outdated at all. He's actually really overpowered. I have him myself, and his ability is just a cherry on top. It just stuns everything. It time stops everybody in the entire map, and it increases attack, lowers his SPA. He has great passes as well. Sukuna, he isn't as crazy as Gojo, in my opinion, but he's still really good. Like, I won't lie. He has good damage, good abilities, good passives, all that. You know what I mean? We have Gilgamesh next. Gilgamesh is honestly just an all-arounder. He's like a pretty good unit in a bunch of ways. You can use him for macros. You can use him for almost anything, especially in like your mid game area. And he isn't like the hardest unit to get. If you just grind for like a couple of days, you could probably get him. He isn't like, it's honestly kind of just luck if you get the key, which I'll make a video on that if you guys need it. And yeah, all these other units, they just have a bunch of use cases. That's like the main reason I put them here. Next up we have meta support. By the way, this is in no order, as you can see from here. There's no way Crocodile is like better than Alucard, okay? I just want to make sure you saw that. All these units are good. Crocodile can slow, Alucard does bleed, and he can stop regeneration. Haruka can buff, Fibiki can slow, and it's just like a bunch of various different reasons, like mostly because of buff and yeah, pretty short category. Next up we have the meta units. I put Aizen on top of it, and I actually pulled a shiny Aizen earlier, but I put Aizen on the top of meta just because of how broken he is, especially with Monarch. He can do like millions of damage just like that. So I heavily recommend you getting this guy. The only reason he isn't, like, you don't want to go for him right now is because his evo is like extremely like annoying. Like trying to evolve him is extremely annoying. But if you can, which I'd suggest you try to actually do from mid game to end game, then I definitely recommend going for it. Next up we have Yamamoto. So this guy's really good. I believe he deals burn damage. He has a really cool ability and he can summon, but he's just also again really hard to obtain. And I've seen people with 300 attempts trying to get this guy. No Yamamoto. Then we have Ichigo. Ichigo, he would be high on this list. Ichigo is a universal DPS. What that means is you can basically bring him in anything. One of his passives buffs him on every single weather condition. Or like, for example, let's say you were playing a map that buffs flame damage by 20%. That buffs flame units by 20%. Ichigo would get that buff even if he wasn't a flame unit. He's pretty much all elements, essentially. And then we have Yuok next. He's also pretty hard to get, but really good passives, really cool ability, really versatile. So yeah, that's why I put him here. Lancer, I put him here. He's really good, especially for starters. He basically replaced Vegeta over here. He's basically a Vegeta replacement. He's like, this is basically just a Team Lancer now. And next up, we have the GOATs. And this is basically all the Vanguards units, but this isn't a Vanguard, and you're probably wondering why I put a Mythic here. So basically, Saber, she's probably the best Mythic unit in the game right now. She's absolutely crazy, and there's literally nothing else I could say. Great passives, great damage. Like there's nothing that's bad about her. And then next we have Diavolo. He recently got a buff about like a couple of days ago, I think. His buff was so crazy. He's like one of the best units. He used to be in meta support. Now he's in all the way up here. So yeah, his buff just made him really good. He has some really fun abilities, and yeah, he's like great support as well. Like probably the best support unit in the game. Next up, we have Gogeta. Gogeta has a really cool ability where you can move him anywhere across the map. He has great damage, but in my opinion, I don't really see what's so good about him. You can hate me in the comments, but I personally haven't seen him because I don't have him. But just let me know in the comments if he's actually crazy or broken. And obviously, the best unit in the game is Sungjin Moonacres. There's literally nothing else to say, bro. It's not even Glaze. Like, it's just, he is the best unit.